Hi everybody, it's Kat. I'm coming back to you from the Outright webinar because we kind of got cut off and we didn't get to answer all the questions. So I've got a list of questions here, and I hope I'll show you some things on Amazon to show you the answers. First question comes from Shar, and she wants to know, how do you get an account rep? If you already have an account on Amazon, I'm not sure. I guess you could do one of the support calls and tell them that you feel that you have some questions that would benefit from having an account rep and ask them to help you with that. My main thing about getting an account rep is when you first get started, not necessarily first get your Amazon account, but when you go into FBA, to always call and ask for an account rep to set you up, because number one, they'll walk you through your first shipment. They'll give you step-by-step help of getting your first FBA shipment in. And number two, we just received word that they are doing the rebate program for fourth quarter this year, so you'll get some money back for the packages you send in. So always try to get an account rep. But if you've already got FBA, I'm not sure. My suggestion would be to call in and ask. Say, you know, I have some advanced questions for my account, and I was wondering if I could have my own account rep that I could talk to. Second question was from Annette, and she wants to know, can you have multiple Amazon accounts? The short answer is no, but it depends. You can actually have a personal and a business Amazon account. However, Amazon is very, very strict about their accounts, so I would never, ever open up another Amazon account without calling them and asking them to help you set it up. Because there are certain ways of setting it up so that it's very clear, this is an Amazon personal account, this is a business account. You don't want to get on the wrong terms with Amazon. And you actually can have more than one business account in certain very strained, very tiny circumstances. If you have a specific niche that you sell automotive products and now you want to start selling clothing, Amazon sometimes will allow you to have one, but again, never, ever, ever, did I say that enough? Never do that on your own. Always go to Amazon and ask them to help you with that. Anjanette wants to know how long I've been selling on Amazon. Anjanette, I started selling on Amazon in 2004. I sold mostly books and things like that. In 2010 is when I first started dabbling with FBA, and I've really jumped into it in 2011. So I've been there since 2004, but been doing this for a while. Okay, the next question was from Mark, and he was asking about one-day shipping, and I believe your question was, if we move to one-day shipping, is this going to increase our work by having to send smaller quantities? Now, I'm not sure exactly, Mark, what you meant by one-day shipping, but what I wanted to show you in this example in my account is, that's my FBA shipping queue. Those are all the shipments I've sent in the last few months. And if you'll notice on that one page, there were several of them that showed a working. They had, not finished, they were working. That's because as I fill my boxes, I very rarely will send in a box with 5 or 6 items in it. I'll just keep that here at my house, and it'll show on the status they are working. Then as I get more items, I can add them to that box and ship in a full box. So I'm not real sure if I got your question right. I hope I did. I don't know what one-day shipping has to do with it, but as far as sending in smaller quantities to different warehouses, yes, Amazon is getting to where you are sending a lot in. And this is my answer to it. Now, if it's a high-selling item, it needs to get in there really fast because it's a hot item, or if I've got a huge profit margin, I'm going to make 50 bucks on it, I might go ahead and ship it in individually. But generally speaking, I'll keep it here in my queue and wait for that to show up. Cesar wanted to know if you could sell gold and silver bullion coins on Amazon. And Cesar, one of the reasons I didn't answer you in the webinar is I didn't know. I really never thought of that before. So as you can see, I went out to Amazon, tried to spell bullion like chicken bouillon at first, and then I looked up gold bullion. And surprise, surprise, it is available for sale on Amazon. And the first thing I brought up was this gold American Eagle bullion coin. And as you can see, it is being sold on Amazon. Interestingly enough, it is being sold for about 4 different prices. According to this listing, the list price is $3.50, and look at all these different people selling it over here on the right. You've got Cellar Door, the Gold Bullion Guy, and Robert's Resources. So there are several people selling it. And look down there, see that little button, I have one to sell. Actually, I think it's probably above my head. It says, I have one to sell on Amazon. So that's a good sign that other people can sell it. If you click on that button, it brings you to this page right here, and all I have to do is fill in my price. Now, Kat doesn't have any gold bullion coins to sell, but if you do, it looks like it'd be very easy to list them. A couple of cautions about this. It does look to me that it has a lot of different sellers. It has a 1-star review, which I'm not sure what that's about. You might want to look that up. But it does have a very decent rank, a sales rank. That surprised me. What I wanted you to notice is wherever it is above me, if you look at, it's listed in the everything else category. Now, that's a problem because the everything else category is not easily searchable. It's not the category somebody would go to look for gold bullion. But as you see, if I put in gold bullion in the search, it brought it up. It's just if you can find a better category, I highly recommend you not list anything in the everything else category. It still seems to be working. If you'll look at all the other listings that gold bullion pulled up, most of them were books. Surprisingly, several toolkits for working with gold and making sure it's gold, I'm supposing, and some flake gold bullion, I guess, to make things with. Most of them were books. But again, we come back to our gold bullion coin, and there it is. Again, everything else category. So that usually says that it's got a very high sales rank and it's not selling very often. However, this one that we looked at, the American Eagle, the sales rank was 18,000. Now, I don't know exactly in the everything else category, but generally speaking, an 18,000 rank is fairly decent. In fact, anything under 50,000 is something to pay attention to. So that was an education for me, Caesar, and I appreciate you sending that one in because that was interesting. I did not know the answer to that, and I love those questions because I get to go look them up. Let's see, the next question I had on here was from Mark. And he wanted to know about the Amazon fees, and I wanted to use this to show you. Go up to from Amazon Seller Central, go to the Help topic, and you can type in just about any question you have. So I went to the Help category, and I typed in the Amazon fees. Mark was actually asking, I made a comment about 25 to 30%, and he said 25% of what? Of your profit. Well, I would consider 25% of my sale price. So if I'm selling something for $10, I would expect Amazon to keep $2.50. Now, I always figure high, and that way I know that I'm covered, and I'll get a little bit more than I'm figuring, not a little bit less. As you can see, Amazon has different, they call them referral fees or commissions on each category. There's a 6% there, 8%, 15%, 12%. Each category has its own referral fee or commission fee. Then in these certain categories, you also have what's called a variable closing fee. And as you can see, different categories have different fees. One thing about Amazon, their fees are very easily spelled out. You're never going to be surprised. They're up front. Another thing to look for is there's a tool that I used Google to find called the Amazon FBA Fee Calculator. And what that does is you can actually put in your numbers, and it will tell you, let's show you first. Let's show you the Amazon FBA fees, because first we showed you that there are referral fees or commission fees on all Amazon sales. Now there are certain fees that are specific to FBA, and these are on top of the commission or referral fees. So if you look at these are the FBA fees. We're going to go, there's different fees for media items, there's different fees for oversized items. We're going to look at the fees for a standard non-media item. Okay, so it's not a book, it's anything besides a book, and it's standard size. Here are your extra fees. If it's $2.99 or less, you're going to pay a $1 order handling fee, a $1 pick and pack fee. And we're going to pull up this example here. This example is based on a toy that sold for $14.99. This person's going to be charged a $1 order handling fee, a pick and pack fee of $1. 37 cents is the weight-based fee, and that's based on how heavy it is. Inventory storage fee was 7 cents. Total fees is $2.44, plus, of course, the referral fee. Okay? So, you look at all the different fees. They're right there in front of you. It'll spell it out. Now I'm going to show you the FBA fee calculator, because on this one you can put in your own numbers and play with it and see exactly. Now see, I cheated. I went to Google to find this. I do that all the time on eBay too if I can't find something. This is called the FBA fee calculator, and what you need to do on this is you need to put the item in first. You have to find it in the Amazon catalog before you can use this calculator. On this one, I just picked up a tube of my hand cream that I sell, and I typed in the UPC code. And you can do that, or you can type in a title and it'll try to match it. Easier to put in a UPC or an ISBN code. It'll bring up exactly. Now it knows what category it's in. That's how it can figure the fees. That's why I got to put that in first. Your item price, this is a mistake. Ignore this. You're not supposed to put in what it costs you. You're supposed to put in what it sells for and figure your odds. So I need to go back up there, and I will in a minute, and change that to $16. Let's say this tube of hand cream is going to sell for $16. And what this calculator is going to show you is the difference you would make if you sold it on Amazon and shipped it yourself versus if you sold it on Amazon FBA. Now, if I sold it on Amazon and shipped it myself, I would not be charging shipping because I ship these for free on my other venues. So get rid of the shipping. The Amazon commission is going to cost me anyway, and then I'm going to put down how much it's going to cost me to ship it, because I'm still, even though I'm not charging shipping, I'm going to pay shipping, because we all know there's really no free shipping, right? This is going to show you the profit of the FBA item is on the right in green, $11.22. The profit on the merchant fulfilled item, the same item, is $9.70. Now the tricky part, what I do is I use this prep service fee to put in my cost for the item. So let's estimate that the tube of cream cost me $3.50. Now I can see exactly. If I fulfill that myself, I'm going to make $6.20 profit. If I send it through Amazon FBA, I'm going to make $7.22 profit. So this is really useful because all those different fees can get confusing, and that's why I say 25 to 30%, because your referral fee is never going to be higher than 15%, but then you've got the order fee, the pick and pack fee, and all of the other things. So I always just say, you know what, let's just say 25 to 30%, and then we're covered, okay? Believe me, it's usually less. It's usually much less. But that's where the buying something and selling it for 3 times minimum, when you go to look for something to sell, you want to make sure that it sells for 3 times what you're paying. Excuse me. You want to make sure that you can sell it for at least 3 times what you pay. If I went and found this DVD at the yard sale, and it was $1, or let's say it was $5, they wanted $5 for it, I would want to make sure that I could sell it on Amazon for at least $15, and that's where the 30% comes. You figure $1 for the cost of goods, $1 for Amazon's fees, and $1 for my profit. 1, 1, and 1. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. If you stick with that rule, you won't lose money. And you'll find a lot of things that are much better than that. You'll find a lot of things. You can buy that DVD for $1 at most yard sales, or even $2, sell it for $15, okay? But if you keep that 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 in your head, it'll protect you as a new Amazon FBA seller. Okay, Laura wanted to ask, what happens to things you send to Amazon they don't sell? That was in those fees that I was showing you. There are inventory storage fees, and there's a long-term storage fee. Inventory storage fees are very, very small. As I said on the webinar, I have, I think, more than 3,000 items at the Amazon warehouse, and my storage fees were about $75 last month, okay? And that is about half of what I pay for my storage unit down the street for my personal things. But for an average size book, looking for books, I don't have average size books, I have little books and big books, but for an average size book, if you figure in your head 3 cents a month for that book, which means it could sit there for a year for 36 cents. Okay. The other thing that people get frightened of is a new fee that came out last year called the long-term storage fee. The reason that Amazon came out with this is people were sending in everything. They were sending in like 10 years worth of inventory on this one item. This, 10 years. This sells once a month, and they were sending in enough of them to last 10 years. So Amazon instituted a long-term storage fee. This only applies if you send in more than one. So I could send this guy in there, and he could sit there for 10 years, and I'd pay my regular probably half a penny a month, but I wouldn't pay the long-term fee because I only have one. But if I had 3 of them, I would be charged a long-term storage fee on the other 2. And those are kind of high fees, so you want to try to avoid those. Fortunately, Amazon sends you warning after warning. They even have a report in Seller Central that calls the Inventory Aging Report, and it can show you how long your things have been there and which ones are going to be charged a long-term storage fee. It's charged twice a year, February 15th and August 15th. And the one that's being charged August 15th, I've already received 2 emails from Amazon reminding me about it, and I can go to my report on Amazon and look and see exactly what I'm going to be charged. Amazon doesn't want anyone to be surprised by these fees. So that's another reason I figure the 25 to 30%, those storage fees in there. Laurentino wanted to ask about sales volume. Is there a statistic for volume sales of the categories listed? And I'm interpreting that to mean that you were talking about the sales rank. And if you look in the video above me, you'll see that this lotion I have has 144,000 sales rank in that health and beauty category. That's not a really good rank. It's not a terrible rank. I probably sell one of these maybe every 2 weeks, every 10 days of this particular size and this particular scent. As you sell more in the individual categories, you'll come to learn them better. Some people try to do an algorithm and say, you know, there's a million items, so the top 10% is only 100,000, so don't buy anything over 100,000. I have found that's more restrictive than I need. I just know that if it's over 500,000, it's going to sit there a while. So it's got to have a really good margin. I mean, I've got to make $20, $30, $40 for me to be willing to let it sit there for a while. Anything under 50,000 is a pretty fast turner. One time I was out shopping with Chris Green and I found an item that was #1 in toys. That was a lot of fun. But anything lower than 10,000, you've got a real winner. I hope that's what you meant by sales rank. Laurentino also had this question: is there a problem selling sporting goods and baseball jerseys on Amazon? Got to bring out the "it depends" answer on that. There's not really a problem selling in the sporting goods category. It's not a restricted category. A lot of people sell there. There are some items that you might have to sit on a while. Depends on the sales ranking. The baseball jerseys to be approved in clothing to sell them. So I hope we got your answers. If you have more questions, please come find me. I have a blog at thatcat.com. I'm on Facebook. You can find me as That Cat or Cat Simpson. I love to answer questions. It's my passion to help anybody who wants to make their living staying at home and working from their home, especially mommies. So, bye.